Hello, our beautiful YouTubers. So me and Elizabeth just had a moment and we just had to hit record. We've had this long conversation today. You guys know the drill. We had to get you guys in here because it's getting freaking deep, 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 deep in soul. Elizabeth was telling me about someone that she has ran into, and they've been talking about presence. And there was a moment where Elizabeth was saying, someone who's not awakened will never understand presence. And then I had a moment where I just oh. And I asked her, I said, do you honestly believe that you would constantly be working on presence and working on your spirituality if it wasn't for this journey? That was the question that I asked. And I said, we can try to avoid it as much as we want, but our spiritual awakening was this path, and it's still constantly on this path, whether we avoid it or not. And our awakening is constant, and our awakening in this journey will always remind us of our alignment with our soul, because we have this catalyst that will always bring us back to our soul. And
Joanne, there's so much for us to talk about today, seriously, because this
Wait.
actually rolls over to other conversations we've had this week about how, so everyone knows, and we'll probably go off on a zillion tangents, right? In this, because there is so much to deep dive on.
But you know what? We have to dissect it, because we know there's going to be a lot of you guys that feel this resonance.
Yes.
So that's why you guys are all here. So buckle in your seatbelts, love. This is going to be a ride. Go ahead, love.
I want to sort of fast forward before we bring it back to this, but what we were going over earlier this week was, so we know that our persons are catalysts, right? And once we can balance the energy for our person, and once we can sustain that energy, a lot of people will message us, and we go through the same things. A lot of our deep-rooted issues are what then starts coming back up for us. Those issues that were on the forefront until we met our person, and then they sort of subsided because the addictive energy for our person was so strong. As soon as you balance out the addictive energy for your person, you're going to probably notice that a lot of your addictions or addictive behaviors or things that you were obsessed about sort of come back in the forefront again. And so what's so crazy, Joanne, you and I were talking about this, was that my person, so for example, my two main things that I've always said are finances and my weight, self-esteem issues. Those are my two main triggers that have been with me since I was young. Well, my person has never been a source of a trigger for my weight issues, or really since we have been together. He's never really done that. Now, what's so crazy is I've been really, really in mind about these things lately, and I don't push them on my person. I just sort of internalize them. Well, what's so crazy is I feel like soul's been trying to show me hey, you need to release this. You need to release this. You need to release this. And lo and behold, guess what? My person is now saying stuff that is triggering the mind for me to release my weight issues. And I'm not even joking. It's almost like they come in when soul has tried to do it through you by yourself, and our person, because they are always this catalyst, is going to somehow be a part of helping us release it if we can't release it on our own.
Yeah, it's almost like soul is saying, you better work on this no matter what. And if you're not working on it, I'm going to give you a reminder to work on it, because you're not working on it.
So let's start there, because what we were talking about is, if our person wasn't in our lives, would we keep continuously deep diving every single day, trying to get deeper and deeper within ourselves and release the mind? Because that's really what this journey is.
I would even turn it back to our viewers. I really want you guys to sit deep with this. Would you really be active in your alignment with consciousness, as advanced in your spirituality, if it wasn't for this catalyst? Like, seriously, this is a valid question.
And you and I, Joanne, we've already said it. We're going to be real and honest. We wouldn't. We would not.
No.
Like this morning I woke up and I was like, like I said, I've been in mind and I don't know what's going on with me. I feel like not like I'm having a mini dark night, but also like there's these really deep things that need to be released. And so this morning I woke up and I was like, I'm going to meditate. And I wouldn't be doing that if my person was not, the catalyst of my journey, because this is the reality, right? Our people are so impactful. You were saying this, Joanne, if we got in a fight with our mom, if we were triggered by our kids, if we were triggered by some kind of external, what would we do? Like the old us would go and probably vent to a friend, vent to a partner, vent to a soulmate, vent and release all this mind energy. But that's not what we do in our journey. What we do in our journeys, we have to sit with those energies, because we know if we are too much in mind, we're going to push our person. And our person is such a big incentive, even balanced every single day. I look at my person and I have to still balance these energies that come up, these energies of insecurities, these energies of, intense desire. You have to balance this stuff. And so if he wasn't in my life, if this journey had never awakened me, I would keep going back to sleep. I would keep going and venting to people. I would keep allowing these emotions to dictate who I am. But now it's like, no, I need to release this. I want to become my truest, highest self. I want to become unfazed. I want to release emotions that are so tied to everything in mind. Mind is so tied to the emotions because mind is emotions. And I don't want to live by fluctuating emotions because of outside factors anymore. I want to be in control. I want to be in control of my day, my vibe, my energy based on me. And why? Because I know that my person is dependent on it too. Yes, I do it for me and I choose me. But ultimately, if he wasn't in my life, if he wasn't a part of my journey, a part of my spiritual awakening.
Let's bring it back. If it wasn't for people to have awakened us, we would still all be asleep. So let's go even way, way back. So for us to even be in this forced awakening, let's get real. That's what this is. This is a forced awakening. We all didn't choose to be this awakened and advanced in our journey. The way that Elizabeth talked about her friend that is seeing presence, because the way she mentioned it was like she's never going to understand presence the way we do and actively be working on presence the way we do. And that's when it came to me like a freaking bulb light, where it was like, our people are constantly directing us to our highest self, our highest version of ourselves. And if we don't follow it, then they will in turn show us that we're not becoming our highest version of ourselves. So here's an example I have. And last night, my person's out of town for business. And last night, you guys know this connection is non-duality. It is not duality at all. It is soul, right? This is a soul connection. Well, I was telling Elizabeth, this is an example of me showing you that I would totally still be in emotions. I would totally still be not working on my spiritual journey if it wasn't for my person. Not intentionally. I just know that this is my path of awakening. Me and Elizabeth can sit here all day and pretend that we wouldn't be as advanced and spiritually constantly seeking our spiritual journey on our own if it wasn't for our people. Let's just get real. All of us, most of us, got forced into this awakening because our soul literally showed us ourselves. And through that awakening, God is showing us who we really are. And so in that non-duality, there are no emotions. And in that duality, there are emotions, which is in the lower scale of consciousness.
No one wants to sit with the pain. So when we feel something, when we feel that emotion, no one, like the whole, I got in a fight with my mom. I don't want to sit with the pain, the residual pain of whatever deep-rooted issue is being triggered within me. So I would have gone and vented about it to sort of just like release this quick, because I wouldn't really want to sit with and understand where the root of the pain is. Whereas our person, we have to.
You have to.
If you sit
around, if you sit around and vent it about your person with a girlfriend, your person will be nowhere near you, nowhere to be found. You have no choice.
To be able to you have to be able to recognize within yourself, what am I not? I am not these emotions. And our person every single day forces us to remember, I'm not the emotions. I'm not the one that is experiencing the emotions. I'm the one that's observing the emotions. The mind is experiencing. And what did we talk about yesterday, Joanne? The mind's never going to be satisfied. So like, here it is. The mind, if you're proud of yourself, the mind is feeling an emotion of pride, which is still a lower scale. And then if you're judging yourself, the mind is sitting there critiquing. And then what does it do? Why are you critiquing yourself? The mind is both the mind is both the prosecutor and the defendant at all times. It never wins. It never wins. You're never going to be satisfied when the mind is the one running the show, because the mind will always criticize and then criticize for criticizing. So you're never going to win. Okay, go ahead.
It's a lost battle. So for example, if somebody's missing their twin flame, and then next thing you know, well, no, don't miss your twin flame. Don't do that. You're pushed. How dare you think about them right now? You're doing so good. And then you're like,
so tell your story about last night, love, because that lines up right with that.
Yeah, for sure. So like I told you guys, my person's out of town, and this is going within. This is the prime example of not a typical soulmate, not a typical text from my mom, right? Where you can be in emotions. My person's out of town, and I swear the whole time we were texting, I wanted to just say, I miss you. And then on top of that, I had this long message where I'm like, I miss you. Life sucks here without you home. Blah, 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 blah. It was a long ass message. And I went within, and as I went within, I would delete the message of emotions that is not me. And I just became more and more and more in soul. And I delete. And I got back into the place of, it's actually really peaceful. And I am soul. I am peace. And I really watched that part of me that missed my person. And I went within and filled that peace. And not even kidding you, that moment I deleted my long ass text that I was going to give him, which was all push, by the way. I'm so glad I didn't send that. And I want to be the warning for all of you guys. When you start wanting to get in emotions and want to spew that out, practice that. It's okay to type it out. So here's the cool thing. If you don't send it, the energy still gets pulled back in, excuse me. So I delete. And right when I deleted all the way to the top, I didn't write anything. I didn't send anything. He wrote, I miss you. And I was like,
As long as you pull it back in, so you spew it, right? You type it all out, but then you realize I'm the one who's watching the mind go through this emotion.
Yeah, I'm not missing. I'm whole.
So what did we say about this last week? So I'm gonna be real with all you guys. So there was something that happened last week, and I don't normally get upset with my person. I don't normally get anger. I don't really normally have anger. And I had anger. I was totally in mind, and I had anger all day with him. But guess what? I never once pushed. And you know why? Because and Joanne was with me on the phone while here I am. I'm telling her I'm so angry with him. And he's calling, he's texting. And I'm like, how is he calling and texting when I'm so angry? Well, you know why? Because I wasn't pushing it out on him. I was not pushing it out on him. So for example, I finally got to the place of, okay, I'll read his messages and I'll respond back. And as soon as I responded back, he called me, and I'm like, oh crap. Now I really have to hold it in. I have to hold all this anger in because he knows that I'm on my phone. So he's calling me. And so I answered. And the whole time I talked to him, I kept it neutral. Yes, the mind was still fighting it. It was battling. I was balancing, but I did not spew it out to him. He did not once pull. So when you're balancing, when you're in this place of balanced energy, you might get angry. You might get desire. But if you're not pushing it out to your person and you're watching it as the observer, you're watching it as soul, you're recognizing that you are not the one having these emotions, it does
Yeah.
not push. And
Yeah.
Joanne was right there when I was like, he's calling again, calling
I
again,
know.
calling again.
And
It's crazy.
that's when I got I miss you text, because it wasn't me that missed him. It was an emotion from mine. I actually watched it. So I just realized why both of those scenarios that we both just gave is not push. Is because it's not any different than journaling, right? You name everything that the mind sees as anger, pain, jealousy, whatever it is. And as long as you watch it, it doesn't push. So journaling, right? Like my sense of typing my long ass message that I was gonna send and pulled it back in to not send. The emotions behind it stayed inside, just like Elizabeth's anger and all of the things that wanted to come out. But this is our very example of pulling in your energy, practicing non-duality. You're constantly working on your spiritual journey as a practice without even knowing it, with your person there right beside you. And even if your person's not there. So let's go back to that pain, love, where you were saying that's why a lot of people have to keep going. You met this person, there's this crazy awakening, there's process of dark night, it's hard, there's triggers, and the only way to keep going
The only way,
peace.
the only way to feel better, in this awakening, we can't speak for other awakenings because we haven't been there, done that.
Yeah.
But what we can speak for is this awakening is perpetual. This awakening is ongoing. And I know that I'm at peace with the fact this is my awakening for the rest of my life. And I do one of two things every single day. Every single day. I balance my energy of mind, or else I suffer in mind.
Yes.
You're either watching the mind as the observer and recognizing for what it is, or you're immersed and identifying as mind. So with one, you're suffering, and with one, you're aiming to watch and to not suffer and to get to a place of peace as the one that's watching, not the one identifying. And it's ongoing. This is a never ending. And I'm sorry, loves. Don't shoot the messengers. We are all in this journey together. And we don't tell you guys this because of anything other than we're in it with you. We're in the throes with you every single day.
We're in the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. It's all truth. It's just what it is. This is what the journey is. And that's why we can sit here and deny it. We can sit here and run from it. But really, we all experience this forced awakening. And we always will, whether we are doing it or not, are going to continue to keep finding our place of peace and presence in this high capacity that Elizabeth's friend will never reach, because we are twin flames.
Yeah.
Like huge.
So
love.
it is a blessing. It is a blessing on certain days when the mind is running amok. It does not feel like a blessing, but on the days that when the veil is lifted, right? The veil of mind, those energies are lifted, and you're in this place of neutrality. You recognize so much more that you have been blessed to understand that you are the creator, that you're in charge of the energy. And once you understand that you are in charge of the energy and you get to control it, you realize how much power you have. You've been gifted the power of consciousness. Seriously, read Neville Goddard. Yeah. If you guys haven't read Neville Goddard, he is so freaking deep. Like, if you're just looking to how to manifest, yes, he's amazing, but his writings are so much deeper than just law of attraction. They really are for the awakened. Like, I do not think that someone who's just studying him for law of attraction will ever understand the full depth of his writings and his works, which are freaking brilliant downloads from source. But listen to what he says. Not until you are conscious, not until you become the consciousness, can you truly experience God. Can you truly experience that you are God? And so this gift of this journey has awakened us to be conscious. So what does conscious mean? And like I said, going back to Neville Goddard, being conscious means you know that you are one with God. That's the gift of this journey. We have been blessed to know that we are gifted with God's energy, that we are source energy in and of itself. And nobody else who's asleep, they don't understand that. They don't see the world through the eyes of energy. They don't see that we are conscious, awakened ones. They see life as chance and coincidence and random luck of the draw. We see it as we are powerful and we are the creators. We've been gifted with consciousness. And it's freaking epic.
Yeah. It's amazing to be awakened, to be conscious, to watch our emotions, right? How much of a spiritual badass is it to feel into being soul? Seriously. To be able to look at any stranger on the street or even your friends and family and just know that you can find peace from within. To know that you don't have to miss anyone. Holy crap. Like, holy freaking smokes, love. Last night, I had a moment of weakness where I was seeking externally and I missed externally. And my person was there to remind me I'm whole and complete. And I need nothing. And I was so weak. Do you see how weak mine can be?
And Joanna, and my person's going out of town next week. And I'll be real with you guys. My mind's already sort of battling it. Like, it's already like, okay, because normally he's just been gone overnight for work. And I think this time he's going to be gone 2 nights. And, you know, for all of you guys, I know the separation and all of that stuff. I know the experience. And I want to say, even when you're in a correlating experience, those energies don't die. The mind's energies don't die. You balance them, but they still come up, and they come up with this stuff too. So he's going to be gone 2 days, and my mind, it's a week away. I have to keep bringing myself to presence. Like, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's not in my now moment. You have to keep balancing every single day, regardless if your person is in your life or not. This is you working through you. That's what this journey is. Why am I already missing my person when I know he's gonna be gone for 2 days? What is it that my mind is seeking? What is it that it's worried about a week from now? Why?
It was really crazy to the way when I just thought of, so when I allowed mine to feel missing, it was separation consciousness for sure. But it also said, like, life is so hard. It sucks not having you here. I even caught myself. So when he was gone,
that's the exact thoughts that were coming up in my head about next week. Like, holy smokes, there's so much I've got to do.
We need
separately.
You here. Come home.
You make life easier. And I know that you're going to be next to,
right? That's totally soulmates. And let's go back to that. So let's say it was a soulmate that we were sending that to. We could send it and we would never grow. We would never get to this place of wholeness within us, the peace within us, the alignment of soul where the emotions are watched. I become the observer of the emotions, because let's go back to the beginning of this video. This is what makes our awakening so special and unique and individual to us, because we would not have even been here if we never woken up to this forced awakening. Like Elizabeth said, we can try to guess all day on what awakening looks like without our people, but we don't even know what that looks like. Let's get real, all of you guys.
No. But every single day we wake up and we know that our mind craves, yearns, seeks our person, whether they're in our space or not, right? We're no different. Joanna and I, in a correlating experience, are no different than we were in separation in terms of the mind. We are balanced, and we make an intentional effort every single day to balance that energy, but the mind is still activated the same way with our person. 100%.
There was a moment of me wanting to just lay in bed and not get up. And I felt a little piece of me that experienced that in separation. And I'm like, what are you doing? Get up. Like, it's like mine wants to wallow. And like, it feels like a half of your soul is missing. That's what it is. It feels like you're dying. Like you're dying on the inside, but you're not, because you're whole and complete.
But on the same token, so you are going through this with, you know, your person gone overnight. My person was here. We were building, and this is so crazy. We're building a goat pen. We're enlarging our goat pen. And my person's up on a ladder and he's banging these T-posts in the ground. For those of you guys that know what that is, he's building his fence and I'm there helping him, right? And he's like in his shirt and looking as hot as hell, banging these T-posts in. And I have to freaking move with that because I know it's mine, because I'm looking at him and the mind is going immediately to, goodness, gosh, he's so freaking hot. So hot, so hot, so hot. And the mind is like putting him on that pedestal again. The mind will always find a way to put them on a pedestal. And we have to watch it. We have to be able to rein it in. And without, how do you do that, right? So this is balancing for me yesterday when I'm looking at him, the mind wants to put him on a pedestal, is to bring it back and start looking at the grass, to look at the actual T-post instead of him, because I know that the mind's going crazy.
Okay.
That,
so
right?
another reminder that Elizabeth has to be present, more present than just a typical person who's like, oh, presence. You're like, oh, let me look at the grass.
Because this is why. If I were to sit there and tell him, oh my God, you're so hot, they pull. Our loves, they pull. They're not like a soulmate that wants to be told. And this is why when people say maybe they're just a narcissist, right? When we go into this topic, maybe my person's just really a narcissist. And I thought the same thing because they act so out of character because of the addictive energy. Well, okay, a narcissist needs to be fed these type of accolades. But when you're in a twin flame connection, you can know right away that it's not a narcissist because your person doesn't want to be fed all this adoration. They pull from it. They do not want you to tell them how amazing, how godlike, how gorgeous they are. They pull. And that's the difference between twin flames and a narcissistic connection that people are always so worried about. And so, you have to pull that energy in, and you have to watch it because the mind goes amok.
Yeah, it does. And it's like even as simple as like texting, right? Texting with a typical soulmate, you don't think about it. You just write, I miss you, I love you, goo goo gaga, whatever. They go crazy for that stuff because it's all emotions. And this brought me to someone's question on YouTube, so we can definitely address it because it's pertinent to this. They asked, is everyone your twin flame? Can I just use the twin flame journey to everyone? And my answer is, why the heck would you put yourself, like, yeah, you can practice presence and all that stuff, but why would you put so much pressure on yourself? Just do whatever you feel like in that moment you're in, because you can be in emotions with your mom. You could be emotions with your soulmate, with your person, that one person that God, the universe, soul brought you to practice your soul is your person. So there's no way you can be in emotions with your person. It will not work. It won't work. And once you meet them there, they're going to run. Not because it's personal, but because they were created to remind you of who you are.
Yeah, my person's not going to pull because I'm telling him how gorgeous he is. He's going to pull because the needy energy of me telling him how gorgeous and amazing he is makes him very uncomfortable. The energy makes him very uncomfortable because it's me and mind. It is me not being my true authentic self. It is me identifying as this lower, lesser being than he is.
Yeah.
And he can't handle that energy.
It's because addictive energy doesn't have an end, like let's go there. Oh, he's so gorgeous, right? Even a picture, looking at a picture of your person, they're not in front of you, and you can already like get lost in it, right? You could feel your energy just going to them. Even as simple as thinking I miss my person, I already felt all those emotions of he's not here, I can't do it without him, life sucks. I had a moment of Joanne, depression.
What is missing your person mean? It means you're missing the physical and the mind, which is not them. And that's why it's separation consciousness. That's why for all of you guys who are in separation, when you miss your person, you are missing the part of them that is not them. You are missing the body and the mind. You are not missing the soul because soul is already one.
Yeah.
So you're missing the part of them that is not them, and you're now in the separation.
Yeah. I felt so peaceful, really, in that moment. of pulling in my energy, watching the emotions, and being soul, I felt so powerful. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for this journey that constantly awakens me. It's crazy how we all got pushed in this. And it's constant. That's why we said this awakening is forever. And you're always going to be working on it, whether you like it or not, because that addictive energy is forever. It's forever. It's forever. It doesn't stop. It keeps going. But the cool part is now all of you guys are conscious enough to watch it, be present with it. And that's why all of you are really powerful, because you get to be conscious. You get to watch the mind. You get to be at peace. And if you ever stray away and go right back to allowing the mind to run you, guess what? There's still that pain, right? So it's either pain or peace. And I choose peace. And that's actually the only way out is peace. And that's on the other side of peace is you working on you, getting deeper on you. And on the other side of that is your person constantly reminding you when you are becoming you, the true you, and when you are not. And that's why we always, always, always say, of course, when we hear the shifts that you beautiful souls make, they're so instant. Yesterday, we just had a comment from a beautiful soul who just finished her detox. And I'm not even kidding you. 4 days ago, she wrote a bomb-ass post where it was like, oh, kind of like heavens and angels were flying in the skies. And I swear me and Elizabeth were like, oh my gosh, she's going to manifest. We totally felt the energy. And that's literally this journey. When you can get to this place of non-duality, of no emotion, because emotion, again, is mind. Emotion is in the lower scale. And yes, you can practice emotion with soulmates all day. Feel free. But when you really get to this place of non-duality, you work on your spiritual journey without even trying. It's like you get to watch the emotions, right? When the mind seeks, when the mind craves, when the mind wants to go in emotions of lower scales of consciousness of desire, or it goes into separation consciousness, you get to be the observer of those emotions, and you get to be soul, love. That's the whole point of this journey, is you get to be soul. And you're always going to be working on your alignment with soul in a deeper level than no other stranger, no one else on the street, unless they're a twin flame. Even those awakened, let's get real. Those that are awakened, they don't have this constant catalyst and reminder almost every day because our energy goes to them. That's why
you know what's so cool?
And forever.
The souls, the beautiful souls that are drawn to our channel, they're finally at this place because you magnetize what you are, right? When you're ready, the teacher will come. Yeah. The beautiful souls that find our channel and resonate with our channel are the ones that are sort of over and done with seeking out their person. And they're finally at this place where they're like, I'm ready to feel peace. Yeah. Like, I know this has to do with my person, and yeah, it would be great to be with my person, but I'm really ready for this pain and suffering to end. And I want a way to find peace. And then lo and behold, they find our channel. And why? Because we're never going to feed you guys mind. We're going to tell you the truth. We're going to tell you what we experience on a day in, day out basis. And we're going to show you that the way to your soul, right? The way to your soul is by becoming soul. And we show you how to do that. You're doing that by releasing your mind. That's what this journey is. And in turn, your soul comes back to you because your soul wants to be with itself. It wants to be with the energy that is its exact vibration. Yeah.
Okay. I have a confession, love. This is my favorite video. Holy moly. There is so much to unpack here. You might have to listen to it over and over again just to really feel the shifts. Just as a special video for all of you guys, because we've been holding on to this video. This is an accumulation of downloads and shifts and experiences that we've been having in this journey. And we've even combated like, hey, do we just create a soul video? And it was like, let's get real. We can make a soul video all we want, but this isn't just soul. This is our awakening in this journey that costs us every day to keep realigning, keep realigning, keep realigning because of our awakening in this journey. So we can't deny that it was through this forced awakening as a twin flame that caused us to still keep working on our journey. It's not for them. It's never for them. It's all for us. But they're a constant reminder of soul,
They're
right?
sort of
Like
they're
we
sort of
said,
like
get
a
back
they're
to
sort of like a
soul.
carrot. They're sort of like a carrot. The soul is literally dangling a carrot in front of us all the time with our person, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
here's the carrot, here's the prize, and you get it. And once you have it, the joke is, right, just like a carrot being dangled, is you don't really have it because you
No,
have
because
to
they're
be
you.
it. Yeah,
You
like
have to be the carrot.
yeah,
When you
the carrot
become the
never just
carrot,
drops.
you can
Yeah,
have, you can have the carrot. When you become the carrot, you can have the carrot. That's what this
yeah.
journey teaches you. Be soul and you can have your soul. Your soul never leaves your side. You forget your soul, well then the alignment that you're having is now back to the part of you that isn't you again. And that's why this journey is so beautiful, loves. It really is. It's crazy beautiful. It's cray cray, but it's all so freaking beautiful. So like I said, you guys might have to listen to this video a couple of times because there's a lot of shifts in here to really unpack. When I told you to buckle in your seatbelts, like I meant it. Shoot. We love you guys so much. We hope you have an amazing, amazing day. Bye, love.
Bye, love.